On a bright summer day, Mother Duck sat patiently on her nest among the tall grass by the water's edge. She eagerly awaited the hatching of her eggs, longing for the moment when her little ducklings would join her. Soon, cracks appeared, and one by one, 5 beautiful ducklings emerged, quacking and stumbling on unsteady feet. But there was one egg left, a large one that refused to hatch. Determined, Mother Duck resumed her vigil, and eventually, the last egg broke open. Out came a duckling, but unlike his siblings, he was large and dull-colored, with awkward movements. Mother Duck, though puzzled, welcomed him into the family. The next day, she proudly led her ducklings to the water. "Look at my babies swim," she exclaimed. The youngest duckling swam as well as the rest, but his size and appearance made him stand out. When the family arrived at the farm, the other ducks ridiculed the young duckling. "What is that ugly creature?" they sneered. Even his siblings teased him, and the poor duckling felt isolated. Despite Mother Duck's efforts to defend him, the farmyard's taunts grew harsher. Sad and lonely, the ugly duckling decided to leave. He flew over the farm's fence, eventually finding refuge in a moor. A flock of wild ducks let him stay, though they made it clear he was unwelcome. His time there was solitary but safe until hunters arrived, scattering the wild ducks. Terrified, the duckling fled once again. Through storms and cold, he sought shelter in a cottage. The cottage belonged to an old woman with a hen and a tomcat. They mocked him too, the hen boasting of her eggs and the cat of his graceful whiskers. Miserable and trapped, the duckling dreamed of freedom. One night, he escaped into the wild. He found a serene lake where he could swim freely, but his solitude remained. Winter came, blanketing the world in white. The duckling endured the freezing water and harsh winds, finding shelter in bushes. One day, he saw a flock of magnificent white birds with long necks and powerful wings. Awed and intimidated, he longed to join them but feared their rejection. As spring arrived, the duckling gazed at the thawing lake. For the first time, he noticed his reflection in the water. He was no longer the awkward, gray bird he remembered. He had transformed into a beautiful swan. The flock of swans returned, welcoming him warmly. They stroked his neck with their beaks, accepting him as one of their own. A family visiting the lake marveled at his beauty. "The new swan is the most beautiful of all," they exclaimed. Overwhelmed, the swan felt a mix of joy and disbelief. After enduring a life of mockery and isolation, he was now celebrated. As he swam gracefully among his new companions, he reflected on his journey. Why must people judge others by their appearance? He wondered. Had I been loved as a duckling, my life would have been so different. Though his past was painful, he found a place where he was cherished.